Okay, so for your final project, you have to pick a mixed media artist to research, and then you're going to create a final project kind of loosely based off of the ideas of that artist and some of their works. So in your sketchbook, this is what you should have. So you should have 2 examples of their work. You should cite it, so either the titles or the series it's from, and you also need the artist name and the year. So, and then on your other page, you're going to write a short little paragraph about what inspires you about the artist. So do you like the colors? Do you like the patterns? Do you like the texture? Do you like the mix of medias? And then you also need to include a list of what medias the artist used to create those pieces. So for your final project, you're required to use a minimum of 4 medias that we worked with this semester. So we used graphite, colored pencil, watercolor, ink, acrylic. We did a little bit with origami. We did some printmaking, and we also did some collage. So your artist that you choose isn't going to have most likely 4 mediums in their work that you're looking at. So you're going to include more medias than most likely your artist does. So my example is this artist right here, and what I said I liked about her was her use of colors and patterns and texture in the background. So when I go to create my final project, I'm first going to create 3 thumbnail sketches. So when looking at this artist, one of the biggest things about her artwork that I immediately notice is her use of the female figure. So in my project, I'm probably going to use some sort of female figure, as well as I'm going to use a lot of colors and textures and patterns in the background. So for my thumbnail sketch, I'm just going to do a small little box here, and you're going to do 3 of these, and we're going to pick your favorite one, and we're going to work with it to kind of make it work for the project. So for this, I'm going to use a central female figure, and then I also just love these textures and patterns that she uses in the background. So maybe I'll do a central female figure right here, but then maybe I'll also add in some lines. Maybe I'll create some interesting patterns like I see her using. So I'm going to base the main portion of this off of the artist that I chose. But then I'm also going to go back in and I'm going to expand upon this. So maybe I'll use colored paper like she does to kind of do a collage in the background. And then maybe I'll do some colored pencils and some of the other lines as well. Then when I go back in, maybe the central figure, I'm going to use printmaking. Now obviously this artist isn't a printmaking artist, but for this assignment, I could use a printmaking figure to create that central female figure. Now I've only got 3 mediums and I need at least 4. So maybe in the background I'll go in with some watercolor or some inks or something like that to reach that 4 medium limit. You have to have at least 4, but you can use as many as you want to in this assignment. So you can see here, I've already printed off a print of a female figure's face. So I'm just going to collage this into the center of my project. And I could also print this directly on the paper if I wanted to, or I could collage it on to make a different effect. So then I could also do some crazy lines in the background. I've got strips of paper here. I might go in with some colored pencils and some inks. So the first thing that I'm going to start doing is I'm just going to cut out this female figure. So then when I go to do my collage, again, just like we did in the collage unit, I'm just going to pour out some glue and some water onto this plate and mix it up. A lot of water again. So the goal for this assignment is just to practice using a whole bunch of different types of mediums and mixing them together. Okay, so now I've used printmaking and collage, and of course I'd go back in and clean up some of these areas where the water mixed with the print ink, and I'm going to cut off some of these excess. But then I'm also going to go back in and I'm going to use some colored pencils. And I can go back in here maybe and add in some extra lines. So you can see I've got that texture, kind of like she does in some of hers. Maybe I'll do some solid lines. I honestly just want you guys to play around with different medias and see how they look side by side together and how they create different textures. I might also go back in with some watercolors, and maybe I'll do something unique in the background because I've got all over patterns and stuff. Like maybe I'll expand some of these, and of course I've got the central figure, but maybe I'm going to make this uniquely mine, and I'm going to do some really interesting patterns in the background with my watercolor. Maybe I like the butterfly, which doesn't fit with my artist, but it would still look cool if I were to print some more butterflies and place them around the page. So overall, I just want you guys to work and practice on mixing at least 4 mediums. Don't forget, you're going to start with your research of an artist, you're going to create 3 thumbnails, and make sure you're incorporating designs from that artist into your work.